This is a sample of the information provided as part of the flexible training resources available through HACCP.com. Our training courses are designed to provide training participants with an understanding of food safety and quality system elements and also offer user-friendly assessment activities and competency checklists to complete the training cycle. HACCP. Key definitions for HACCP. Codex Alimentarius. The Codex Alimentarius, Latin for food code, or food book, is a collection of internationally recognized standards, codes of practice, guidelines and other recommendations relating to foods, food production and food safety. Control point or CP, any step at which biological, chemical, or physical factors can be controlled. Critical control point or CCP, a critical control point is a point, step or procedure at which controls can be applied and a food safety hazard can be prevented, eliminated or reduced to acceptable levels. Critical limit. A critical limit is a criterion or boundary that is used to distinguish between what is acceptable or safe, and what is unacceptable or unsafe. A critical limit is a measurable value of a parameter or variable. Food and Agriculture Organization or FAO. The Food and Agriculture Organization is the United Nations agency concerned with the International Organization of Food and Agriculture HACCP. Hazard Analysis Critical Control Point or HACCP as it is commonly known, is a science-based risk management system, relying on identification and recognition of specific hazards, that nominates measures for their control to ensure the safety of food. Microbiological pathogens. Any microbiological entity including viruses, bacteria or other microorganisms that can cause foodborne illness in humans. NASA. NASA or National Aeronautics and Space Administration are an independent agency of the United States government responsible for aviation and spaceflight. pH, from potential of hydrogen, the logarithm of the reciprocal of hydrogen ion concentration in gram atoms per liter. Provides a measure on a scale from 0 to 14 of the acidity or alkalinity of a solution where 7 is neutral and greater than 7 is more alkaline and less than 7 is more acidic. Quality Control Point or QCP, a quality control point, commonly known as a QCP or CQP is a point, step or procedure at which controls can be applied and a food quality hazard can be prevented, eliminated or reduced to acceptable levels. Quality Point or QP, any step at which product or process quality factors can be controlled. Regulatory Control Point or RCP, a quality control point, commonly known as a RCP is a point, step or procedure at which controls can be applied and a food regulatory hazard can be prevented, eliminated or reduced to acceptable levels. Water Activity or AW, water activity is a measurement of water content. Free or unbound water available in a food for microbial growth. It is defined as the vapor pressure of water divided by that of pure water at the same temperature. Therefore, pure distilled water has a water activity of exactly 1. World Health Organization or WHO, an organization attached to the United Nations that is concerned with the health and well-being of all people. The organization works in developing nations to curb disease and other health-related problems. HACCP development. When considering the development, documentation and implementation of HACCP within food safety and quality management systems, the following information should be considered to ensure effective outcomes. HACCP.com HACCP information. HACCP.com includes multiple elements referencing requirements for the development, implementation and management of Codex HACCP within any food safety and quality program. This element covers the primary information regarding Codex HACCP. Other related elements including the following subjects, which cover specific considerations and applications of the 6 commonly applied potential hazard types controlled through the HACCP methodology. HACCP, Allergen Hazards Management. HACCP, Biological Hazards Management. HACCP, Chemical Hazards Management. HACCP, Physical Hazards Management. HACCP, Quality Hazards Management. HACCP, Regulatory Hazards Management. About HACCP. HACCP is an internationally recognized effort approved by the scientific community, regulatory and food industry practitioners. HACCP is a food safety methodology that relies on the identification of critical control points in all stages of food business processes. The critical control points are then closely monitored in order to ensure that food is safe for consumption. This differs from traditional produce and test quality assurance methods that can lead to expensive recall of suspect food produce. HACCP is a term that has become synonymous with guaranteeing food safety. The goal of any HACCP system is to prevent potential food safety issues from occurring during processing, rather than relying on end product testing or assessment to confirm the safety of food. The application of HACCP systems need to be flexible enough to cope with changes, such as advances in equipment design, processing procedures and technological developments. The principles of HACCP can be used in applications throughout the food chain from primary production through to the final consumer, and its management should be guided by science-based applications. Their ultimate goal to preserve human health, as well as the distinct purpose of nurturing food safety, HACCP can provide other benefits to its users, including aiding regulatory and non-regulatory inspections and promoting business through an increased confidence in food safety. HACCP relies on the full and dedicated commitment of management and workforce involved in all areas of food production to reach its full application potential. It also requires a multidisciplinary approach. The use of specialized sources including microbiology, medicine, public health, food technology, environmental health, chemical engineering and veterinary health to name a few, to validate its use within a food safety system. While the HACCP concept is primarily concerned with food safety, its application is also successful in addressing quality issues within food production. With the assurance of food safety in mind, HACCP is now the most utilized systematic and preventative approach to controlling biological, physical and chemical hazards in food production. Extended applications for HACCP. Whilst HACCP was originally developed around the identification and control of food safety hazards, modern applications of the HACCP methodology within food businesses have extended to the inclusion of the identification and control of additional hazard types, such as quality and regulatory hazards. Where applied, this extension produces a strong risk management to all hazards applicable to any food business. In this context, the following content includes reference to hazard analysis and controls, for which CCP examples can equally be applied for quality control points and regulatory control points. The history of HACCP. 1959 in the USA saw NASA approach a large American food and beverage company to produce foods that could be eaten in space. The company, Pillsbury Foods, was given a number of specifications for the food. The aim being food that was 100% safe for consumption by astronauts. The food had to also be designed in a way that could be eaten in zero gravity, without the creation of food particles that may compromise the comfort of the astronauts and the operation of their vessel. The reaction of the Pillsbury Company was to test finished product samples for pathogens, but it was soon realized that the only way to guarantee safety of the food was to test 100% of the food. It was realized that a controlled preventative approach to food safety could prevent food safety hazards from occurring. HACCP was developed by Pillsbury as a result of this realization, and was presented to the U.S. food industry in 1971. Soon after, several food companies adopted the HACCP system theories. HACCP was not in common use outside the U.S. until the mid-1980s. The World Health Organization was convinced that HACCP had the potential to considerably improve food safety issues in developing nations, and therefore save lives. In 1993, the Codex Alimentarius Commission developed Codex guidelines for the application and implementation of HACCP. The Codex Alimentarius guidelines now provide a standardized foundation upon which food businesses around the globe incorporate HACCP into their food industries. Management and review of the official HACCP guidelines. The official HACCP guidelines are managed and reviewed by the Codex Alimentarius Commission, an international organization almost unknown to the general public. The Codex Alimentarius Commission was created in 1963 by FAO and WHO to develop food standards, guidelines and related texts such as codes of practice under the joint FAO and WHO Food Standards Program for the United Nations. The main purposes of this program are protecting health of the consumers and ensuring fair trade practices in food and promoting coordination of all food standards work undertaken by international governmental and non-governmental organizations. Nevertheless, While working in the shadow of more prominent United Nations organizations, the impact of its work is felt by consumers every day. The mission of the Codex Alimentarius Commission is to set international food standards that help governments to achieve adequate consumer protection. In addition, the Commission helps to raise the awareness of governments on food safety issues and serves as a point of reference for food safety standards and food regulations. The Codex Alimentarius Commission meets every 2 years, during which delegations from the different countries convene in Geneva, Switzerland, Rome, the seats of the World Health Organization or the Food and Agriculture Organization. The delegations consist of government officials but can also include industry or consumer representatives, as well as academic experts. Between the Commission's meetings, the Executive Committee conducts business on behalf of the Codex Alimentarius Commission. Why do we require HACCP? Consumers are becoming continually more aware of food safety-related issues in the context of the food that they eat. The main concerns involve the potential presence of pathogenic microorganisms, chemical residues including pesticides, artificial flavorings, colorings, preservatives. It is a basic right of consumers to be presented with safe food. Food that will not cause them harm. Occurrences of foodborne illness have been well publicized in the past, and while some have been overstated by the media, others have caused harm. Even fatalities to large numbers of people around the world. Did you know that HACCP.com includes resources that allow you to create, manage and implement GFSI and HACCP-based food safety and quality programs? Improve your food safety and quality skills and knowledge? Train and develop your team to create better food safety and quality outcomes? Find suppliers and service providers to partner with your business? The information and training resources available through HACCP.com included a variety of formats, such as website content, MP4, MP4 and text, MP3, PDF and slideshow. Are you ready to take the next step in your food compliance journey? Visit HACCP.com today to create your profile and access the full versions of our food safety and quality information packages and much more.